Hi, I'm C Pam Zhang, and this is my new novel, Land of Milk and Honey. It's the story of a world in which a toxic fog has come over the earth and killed the majority of food crops. And our protagonist is an American chef exiled in Europe. This is a world in which most people are reduced to eating this gray, sort of soylent-like, disgusting meal replacement. But the chef receives a mysterious invitation to work at a mountaintop colony on the border of France and Italy, where her billionaire employers have the last of the world's sunlight and access to the last of the world's produce and edible animals. And so it's a story about one woman's ambition and appetite and her coming alive again to pleasure in a world that feels like it's dying. It's also a story of climate change, of great wealth disparity, and it's about the question of what do we do when it feels like the things that have given us purpose are disappearing? How do we make meaning again in that kind of a world? I'm here at Waterstones Piccadilly, and I would like to share 3 books that are in the acknowledgement section of Land of Milk and Honey. The first is The Lover by Marguerite Duras. This book was really important to starting Land of Milk and Honey. It is the story of a woman who is looking back at a period of her life when she was much younger that was transformative. And so like Land of Milk and Honey, it's told in the retrospective, and it's told about this all-encompassing love affair with someone who is difficult and problematic in dire circumstances, but none of that really matters. It's sort of the overwhelming passion and desire of that period in her life that comes to the fore. The language is sensual and urgent and ecstatic, and it really brings you into the body. We're now on the 3rd floor in the food and cookery section, where I could spend forever if I wanted to, but I won't. I'm here to talk about The Gastronomical Me by MFK Fisher. MFK Fisher was an American food writer working in the early part of the 20th century. I think she's criminally underread. She has this spare, elegaic, deceptively simple style of writing that evokes rather than tries to be exhaustive. And this memoir covers many years of her life, including a period where she was traveling in Europe during the Second World War and lost a great love of her life. And there's a kind of spareness in the prose that beautifully describes what she is eating and then leaves these gaps for the emotional story to be filled in and gestured at. I think everyone should read her, and also while I'm standing at this table, I will also note that there's other MFK Fisher books, and if you actually want to read her entire opera, I would recommend that from start to finish. I'm here to share my final pick on the 4th floor, which is The 6th Extinction by Elizabeth Kolbert. This is a book of nonfiction about the age of the Anthropocene, the one in which we live, in which there's a massive die-off of flora and fauna due to human meddling in the environment. Elizabeth Kolbert is one of my favorite writers on this topic. She also writes for The New Yorker. She approaches the question of climate change and the leading edge of genetics and science with not exactly optimism, but a kind of open-minded curiosity and wonder that doesn't render dire these incredibly difficult topics that she's writing about. She sort of leaves openness at the end. I really love this book, which won the Pulitzer, I am now being told by the cover, in 2015.